Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me in this three-part lunch and learn. I have a little surprise for you. I'm actually going to do a fourth day if people are interested. I'm also going to do a noon hour on Saturday to talk about making committed decisions and some bonus material. So I'm Susan McDonald. My company is called Transformational Change, and I just want to share with you GPS. What that means to me is goals, paradigms, and self-image. What this probably means to you is you understand a GPS locator on your vehicle or on your computer. On maps, you can check out a GPS symbol and you know where you are. Well, I'm going to talk about setting goals as a destination, something that scares and excites you at the same time, something that you really want to do or be or have, but you have no idea how. Let me introduce myself. I said earlier that my name is Susan McDonald, and this gentleman is Bob Proctor. He was my mentor. I fell in love with him and his materials because it resonated with me. He talked about changing the way you think in order to change the way you live your life. And he's changed my life so much that I actually put my vision, mission, goal statement here because what I love doing is connecting people with a higher version of themselves so that they can really lead more productive, fulfilling, and enriched lives. Bob Proctor has a lot of programs. I've taken pretty much all of them, and I am honored to represent his legacy. I like to say that he saved my life. Yes, I know that sounds a little bit dramatic, but every single morning I get up with a purpose, with a passion for life, with sharing this material. I learned how to set goals that got me excited, not the usual goals that people set and then fail at, but goals that are not draining, they're not overwhelming, they're thrilling, and my life just gets better and better and better. I've been married to my second husband for almost 28 years. I have four wonderful children and seven beautiful grandchildren, and I wanted time and money freedom. And Bob Proctor taught me how to do that. He passed away in February of 2002, and I was really honored to have spent time with him, getting to know him. And because he studied this material that I'm about to talk to you about for over 60 years, I know that it is timeless. And even though he's gone, I am so grateful that I get to help people set powerful goals, inspiring goals. So I'm pretty sure you understand what a GPS is. That means it's an instrument. It's a global positioning system. It's a guidance system that keeps a program on track. The GPS in your vehicle will take you where you want to go and it will alert you to roadblocks. It'll help you find alternate routes to your destination. The thermostat in your home does the same kind of thing. It keeps the temperature in a comfortable zone. And you know that if someone opens the door and it's wintertime here in Saskatoon and a cold blast of air comes in, you don't have to do anything. The thermostat, the GPS system, it tells the furnace to start and it kicks back in and it comes back up to the comfort zone. Well, the reason I'm talking about GPS is because we each have an internal guidance system. We have a GPS, but it's been programmed by other people. It's an automatic program that keeps us getting the same results in life, even if it's what we don't want, because it's been set. It's been set for a particular outcome, and it might not be what we want, but it's familiar to us. It's our comfort zone. It's a place that we feel is right for us. It's what we believe we're worthy of and where we think we're supposed to be in life. But have you ever noticed how people mostly talk about what they don't want? They talk about the bad economy or what's going on that's keeping them stuck. They're complaining about all the things that are going wrong in their life. Or they talk about the craziness in the world, the poverty, the homelessness, the sickness, diseases, the price of gas. And the more they complain, the more they feel the pain, the more they feel stuck, the more they are in this set position that is comfortable. Well, we've all been programmed to repeat patterns. We've learned these patterns as children, and unless we're aware that we've been programmed and do something to change it, we just keep running the same program over and over and over again. Pretty soon, we just believe that that's all there is for us. Maybe in school you were not very good when you started school. Maybe you started to learn math and you didn't know anything about arithmetic, and you got a bad grade on your report card, and you felt bad about it. And now for the rest of your life, you've been talking to yourself about, I'm stupid. I'm bad at math. I can't do that. I can't do my own income tax. Somebody has to do it for me because I can't even count without using my fingers. Maybe that's taking it to an extreme level, but people get programmed to believe in their limitations. And I want you to know that that's not your fault. Yes, you've been programmed, but you've been programmed by people who loved you and wanted to keep you safe. You were programmed by your parents and grandparents to understand the world around you. And of course, as your elders, as people who cared about you, as authority figures, you believed them. And that's all there is to it. That's a black and white deal. That's how it is. But it doesn't have to be that way. And just because you've been running the same program for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, now that you know you've been programmed and you can understand how, I'm going to teach you how to change it, how to change that GPS, that inner program, so that instead of automatically thinking that you can't do something, you can set a destination, change the setting in your GPS, and go for something that you really, really, really want. Are you your own worst critic? You must let go of the criticism, the judgments about not being worthy or good enough. I want you to get rid of that old version of who you think you are and what you believe is possible for you, what you're worthy of, what you think you're worthy of receiving. And I love this quote. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Um, on day 3, I'm going to talk to you about self-image and programming you for the destination that you really want in life. I want you to understand that each of us here is a divine spiritual being. We're in a human body, and we're in this human body so that we can experience life. And your spirit is always for expansion and further expression. So that's why no matter how much you've done in your life, how great your life is, it can always get better. And that's not selfish. That's not greedy. We're meant to get better and better. We're meant to help expand the universe, and we're meant to live more life. And I want to talk to you about setting a goal that inspires you. Bob Proctor taught me that the universe is always for expansion and further expression, and that includes you. So I want to get into talking about goals and setting a goal that you would absolutely love, something that you're passionate about, but right now it's just a fantasy. Have you heard about SMART goals? So I believe in most of that. Um, if you haven't heard of SMART goals before, the S stands for specific. So I agree that your goal should be specific. I want you to get clear on something that you really want to attain. Maybe it's something you want to attain in your lifetime. Maybe it's something you want to attain by the end of the year or 6 months from now. But specific is good. It can be measured, and a measurable goal you can understand then if you're looking to earn $1 million, you can see in your bank account the result of having that $1 million. If you want to get a bachelor's degree, once you have completed all the tests, you have your degree. You know that you've attained that goal. So it's measurable. Attainable is sometimes we think of goals that we understand we can do something, we can attain it, but I want you to go way beyond what you think is attainable and think about a fantasy. And that's where I disagree with the realistic goals. I want you to get into the habit of thinking about what you really, really love, not what you think you can get. Timely is important. It gives us a sense of urgency when you say, I'm going to do this by December 31st. Well, there's not that many days left. You really want to get started on it. So what Bob Proctor taught me is the ABCs of goal setting. An A goal is something you already know how to do. If you've previously purchased a car and you want to get a new car, you know you can just go out and do that. To me, that's an A goal. A B goal is something you think you can do. Maybe you've lived in apartments all your life and you want to buy your first house. I would say that's probably a B goal because you've never been a homeowner before, and there's a lot more to owning a home than there is to living in an apartment. But I'm going to talk to you about setting fantasy goals. A C goal. A C goal is something that you would love to do, and you've talked yourself out of it already because it's too big, it's too scary, and you don't know how. But think about all the things that were once a fantasy in someone else's mind that is a reality for us right now. If you have a cell phone, and I'm sure pretty much everyone carries a cell phone, imagine telling your great-great-grandparents, maybe they lived in another country and they're used to getting a letter in the mail from you and it's taken weeks to get there. And you send them a letter and you tell them, you have this newfangled device. You're going to phone them and they're going to answer the phone, and it's not the old rotary dial on wall phone that they are used to having. It's this little thing that you carry in your purse. You're going to phone them and you're going to FaceTime them. Oh, what are you talking about? You're going to take a picture and send it to them across the invisible airwaves. Well, your great-grandparents would have said that is fantasy. Well, now everybody's doing it. You don't even think about it. You just automatically take a picture and send it, tell everybody how much fun you're having. Most people that are growing up today don't even remember seeing a rotary dial phone on the wall. But the cell phone was a fantasy in someone's mind. The rotary dial phone on the wall was also a fantasy, and so was Disney World, Disneyland. Imagine if Walt Disney had decided, yeah, everybody's right, that's crazy. I'll lose money if I put a really big park and have animals and rocket ships and games and rides all over the place. And this will be the happiest place on earth. People would have said, that's a fantasy. You can't do that. How are you going to make any money? Thank goodness he didn't set aside his imagination. And I want you to set aside what you think you can do, some goals that you know you can accomplish, and start to think outside the box. Think about some fantasies. Maybe when you were a child, you wanted to be something when you grew up, and then you put aside that idea because you had to get a good job and earn money to pay the bills. A fantasy goal is something that pulls you, it gets you excited so that when you're going after a fantasy goal, you're so in love with it. It's so big, it excites you and scares you at the same time, and you know your life would change. I want you to set an audacious goal, and I'm going to ask you just to take out a piece of paper, a journal, a notepad, something to just start to jot down some goals. It might be A and B goals. It might be something that you've always wanted to do. It might be something that you really wish you had time for, but you don't make the time. Even if it's as simple as going for regular manicures or massages, buying a new car, buying a house, renovating your house, taking a trip, maybe starting a business. Just jot down a few ideas, whatever comes to your mind that you would think is a good goal for you. Now, something that Bob Proctor told me about sea goals is they're not really to get, they're to stretch you, to help you grow. And it's really a dream that you may have talked yourself out of because you couldn't figure out how you're going to accomplish. I'm going to get you to do some more writing later on. I want to move on and ask you if you know what you want to do, you've written down a wish list, you've jotted some ideas down, uh, and you can tell me where you are, you can tell me what your life is like, but can you tell me where you're going? A lot of people say they want to be successful, but being successful isn't about making a lot of money, although most people say they want more. Everyone's definition of success is different. So the goal that you might have written down is a better love life, um, improved family relationship, fantastic, vital, improved health, or more time and money freedom. Maybe you have a goal for your business. So Did you know that there's only about 8% of the population that sets goals? And out of that 8%, only 6% of the 8% have them written down and know where they're going, and they don't let the naysayers talk them out of it. So Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, the Wright brothers, people who have accomplished great things, you and I all have the same capabilities. We can start with a fantasy in our mind of where we want to go, but most of the time we let circumstances or other people talk us out of that. And it's because of beliefs. I'm really going to get into talking about limiting beliefs and why we're stuck in tomorrow's session. But take a look at that list that you wrote down. Uh, are there some things there that you know that you could do today or right now? Book an appointment to get your nails done or research the trip that you want to go on. Go out and buy the thing that you've been wanting to buy forever. Maybe you could write A, B, or C beside it. A, something that you know you could do. B, something that you think you could do. You know, if you do this, then you'll get that. If you do something a little bit different, it'll work out. Did you put anything down that would be considered a fantasy goal? Something that gets you really jazzed, really excited, something that excites you. Maybe it scares you a little bit at the same time. Well, we we know where we are. We can have a great vision about where we want to go, but our automatic thinking holds us back from getting there. We procrastinate. We know all the steps, but I'm going to talk to you about what do you really want? Programming your inner GPS for success starts with deciding on a fantasy goal, a destination, getting clear on something that you really, really, really want. Is there something on your list that is a someday? Maybe once the kids grow up and move out, I'll be able to do that. Maybe when I get the $1 million, I'll be able to do something else. I'm going to get you to go deeper into a visualization and see in your mind the image of what your heart desires, tapping into that energy, feeling the vibration of how happy, how healthy, how wealthy you look, and to get into the spirit of it. So I'm going to put on some music and I'm just going to ask you to spend a couple of minutes. Maybe I'll just do this for about 3 minutes and see if you can hear music. Not yet. Okay. Try something else.
We did hear it and then it went away.
Okay, let's try this again. Is the music playing now? Okay. I'm gonna get you to spend a little bit of time thinking about what would your ideal life look like. Maybe it is a dream home or a trip that you've always wanted to take. I'm going to get you to do a thought experiment. Call to mind something that you really want. It could feel like you found your purpose in life. Maybe you have a business that helps people create better health or wealth. Maybe you desire a loving partner in your life. It doesn't matter what it is, so long as it's really meaningful to you. Can you tap into that energy, feel the vibration of how that feels, how happy, how healthy, how wealthy you look? I really want you to get into the spirit of this. What would it feel like? For some people, they like to look at the visualization picture. For other people, it's important that they close their eyes, but really get in tune with the picture in your mind. What really brings passion to your soul, what makes your heart sing, to get into the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. Okay, now if you've got your eyes closed, I want you to open them, and I'm going to give you another little exercise. This one, I want you to take a clean sheet of paper, separate from the one that you just wrote down your wish list or your dream wish list, or jot notes. And I want you to write down in the middle of the page, in one word or one sentence, that expresses your vision. What did you see in your imagination? What popped in when you were visualizing, when you were calm and getting clear on something that you would love? Maybe it's something that you've never thought of before, and maybe it's something that you've thought of for years and put it out of your mind because it didn't seem possible. So once you've written it down in the center of the page, that's your goal. That's your destination. That's where we're going to set our inner GPS. This is where we're going. It could be speaking on stage in front of millions of people. It could be finally buying that dream home that you always wanted. It could be the love of your life, sharing your life with you, whatever it is. Just set that down in the center of the page, circle it, and let's do a little bit of a mind map or a Sputnik. All over the page, all around your goal, I want you to write down everything else that has come to your mind. It's big, beautiful, bold ideas. Oh, it's too scary. It's going to take too long. I can't do that. I don't know how that would be possible, but it would feel amazing. I'm not worthy. Wow, that would give me the time, freedom to do what I want. Jot down everything that pops into your head about that beautiful goal of yours. All the good, all the doubts, whatever's popping into your head. You can see that some of what you're written down is automatic logical thinking. And the automatic logical thinking gets in the way of us acting to accomplish that big goal. Maybe you had a goal of climbing Mount Everest. Well, in the past, it was impossible until Sir Edmund Hillary and his guide Tenzing Norgay reached the top of Mount Everest. That was a goal, and their families tried to talk them out of it because they said it was impossible. People had died trying, but they had a fantasy goal, and now people are lining up to see if they can take on Mount Everest. Sometimes there's so many thousands of people on the trail that you're not even moving forward to the summit because of how many people are trying. And yet in my lifetime, just before my lifetime, that was an impossibility. So I want you to spend some time challenging some of these limiting beliefs, looking at the fearful thoughts and asking yourself, is that true? If you wanted to climb Mount Everest or invent a cell phone or invent the next Disney World, if that's something that is a passion of yours, how would that feel? What would it mean to you to accomplish that? What kind of legacy do you want to be known for? So not how much money did you leave your children after you die, but what would people say about you? What did you do that everyone thought was impossible? And I want you to challenge the beliefs that are the logical words that are coming up. I can't do it. It's going to take too long. I'll do it after the kids leave home. And who told you? Who told you this? And why do you believe it? What if, what if that beautiful sea goal was possible? What would it do to your life? What would it do for your family? How would it change the world? So you can take this image and focus on it with a feeling that it's done, and you start to get inspired ideas, something that you could do differently. Sometimes you're just sitting quietly or having a bubble bath or going for a walk, and an idea pops into your mind. That's how the laws of the universe work. There are only two ways to change your inner guidance system, your limiting beliefs, your paradigms. Emotional impact, and that's usually negative, or write this down: constant spaced repetition. Constant spaced repetition of new material to override the old program. The old program is maybe you think you're being greedy, or it's not possible, or you're not worthy, or it's going to take too long. I know that you want to be successful, that you want to have loving relationships, that you want to enjoy more life. The problem is there are certain things that you know you should be doing and you're not doing them. And there's a gap between what we want and what we want to be doing, or what we know we would love. And remember, it's not your fault. You've been programmed. There's part of you that wants to move ahead and go after that beautiful goal. And then there's the chatter in your mind that tells you why you can't have it or you're not good enough. A common error is trying to change our results by changing our behavior. And this is temporary unless we change our mindset. That occurs at a subconscious level. It's simple, but it's not easy. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about shifting your mindset so that this beautiful goal that you want, the dream that you visualized, not only is a possibility, it becomes a probability, and then it becomes your life. You've heard whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Our thoughts, most of our thoughts are on automatic, and we think 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. You're not even aware of it, but most of them are the same thoughts over and over and over, and that turns into a belief system. Right or wrong, good or bad, telling the same story over and over, it does become true for us. So let's go back and look at that program. The program, the way you automatically do things, the way you automatically think, your perspective, your perception of the way things are, your mind has been programmed, and that's the comfort zone. So in order to go after what you really, really want, we have to change the setting. We have to change what we believe about ourselves. And what's holding us back are paradigms. That's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. And if paradigms are in control, we really want to start to understand what they are and how to change them. So paradigms, the programming in your subconscious mind, control pretty much your whole life. Your logic, your perception, what you think about money, how you view love, the image you have of yourself, your productivity, your effectiveness, that all comes down to what's below the surface, what's hidden in the back of your mind that you don't see it, but you see the effects of it. Everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in your beautiful imagination. adjourn for today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow at noon where we can talk about what's holding you back from getting what you really want. And if everything starts in the mind, and it does, I want you to take some time later on today, visualize what you truly desire. Write down the things that having your goal would do for you, and write down some of the nonsense, the self-limiting beliefs, the you can't do that, you might get hurt, what if I fail? All the logical things that tell you why you can't have what you really, really desire. We're getting close to the top of the hour. Does anyone have a question? Would you like me to go back anywhere in the slides and clarify anything? It's really important to understand that a fantasy goal is something that I want you to really get clear how that would change your life, what you would love, and then write it down, and we can talk about that tomorrow. Brenda, you were going to say something.
Yeah, the first thing that popped into my mind is, um, those negative statements, say it's a business venture, for example, and you do your market research and, it indicates, no, it's not a required service. Nobody wants it.
Never going to happen. Yeah.
Never going to happen. Like, is it, do you change it to say, okay, well, maybe if it's slightly changed and it's this, then, well, maybe that would be better. And then, you know, so, I guess that's what this always the struggle is. You wouldn't go ahead and spend, say you spend millions of dollars on something, it's not going to work because it's not going to work. But
Right. Because you know it's not going to work. You get what you expect.
maybe.
Yeah. So the thing is to focus on the fantasy goal. What do you really want? And the plan, and you have a plan, you start to take action, you start to move ahead and design a plan and start to take action. And the plans can change, but the goals should not change. If you wanted, like for example, the goal to climb Mount Everest or to design a cell phone, it had never been done before. Everyone said it was impossible. It was fantasy. But the longer the person with the idea, the fantasy, sat and thought about what would that be like? How would my life change? What would that do for the world? How would that time and money freedom feel? It's getting into the vibrational energy of the feeling, because feeling really is the secret. If if you're writing down, I'm so happy and grateful now that you're spending 6 months on a beach in Hawaii, that might take a few years to happen. It might happen next month, but what does it feel like? Why do you want it? And going back to the why, not how is it going to happen? How can I do this? Because the hows are what are going to stop you. But of course, you do have to start moving and taking action. And that's where on Friday, I'm going to talk about self-image. Who are you now that you have the goal? So people who have started with $30,000 a year income, making billions, they couldn't become a billionaire until they stopped thinking about what it's like to live with $30,000 a year in debt, worry, struggle, poverty. So the we have to focus on what we want and how it feels. If you're building a 30-story building, you see it in your imagination and then you draw out the plans. Lots of things can happen between the fantasy and people living in that 30-story building. But it is getting clear on the picture. That's what I agree with SMART goals is getting clear, being specific, knowing if you want more money, it's not, I want $1 billion. It's what is that going to do? How are you spending it? What kind of luxury are you living in? What are you doing for the rest of the world? Are you building wells for clean water all over the world? Are you building homes so that no one is ever homeless? Like, what's the end goal? So when we're thinking about the fantasy goal, it has to come from the heart. What does it feel like now that you're living it? And that vibrational energy will start to attract ideas. And so, as you're writing down what you really want, you can also now start to write down some ideas that could get you there, could work. Thank you for asking the question. It really is the feeling. Um, would you like me to stop recording, or Tom, would you like to ask a question?
Well, I was going to say the fantasy, like a goal, I can think of a goals, or my kind of main goal, I think, is it's not that it hasn't been done before, it's that I haven't done it before.
Right.
You know,
So that
uh,
means it's possible. That means if someone else has done it, you can do it.
well, yes, but is that a good fantasy goal then,
It depends if it's meaningful to you and it's something that you really want, then that's the goal that you want to go after. Because goals are to grow and stretch and shift to allow you to get better, your life to get better, which means once you hit that goal, that's not the end goal. You're going to hit the goal and die. That's now, okay, I'm living this way. Now I have a better goal, something else. Because no matter how many goals you've set before in your life, once you attain it, you want something else, you want something more. That is the spiritual side of us looking for expansion and fuller expression. So it's not greedy, it's not selfish, it's the better you become, the better the people around you become. The more calm and peaceful you are, the more calm and peaceful your coworkers, your employees, your family, the environment becomes. It's like we know when someone is really upset and we provoke them, that adds fuel to the fire. We want to go the opposite direction. We want to start out with, what do I want in this situation? I want peace. I want calm. I want love. I want more money. Whatever it is, the more time you spend in your imagination, seeing that and feeling it, ideas start to come to you. You do things differently because the automatic programming now doesn't take you back to the set position. It's not who you are that holds you back, it's who you think you're not. And we can look at other people, and isn't it funny that we say, that person can do it, but I can't? If you have an idea in your mind, that a desire in your heart, that is meant for you. if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand, is something that Bob Proctor used to always say, because everything starts out as a fantasy. Even if we're getting close to Christmas and you know what you want Christmas to look like, and maybe you have some ideas for presents for your family. Well, the first thing is to think about it, and then you go do it. Everything starts with a thought. What the problem has been is we keep thinking the same thoughts that keep us in our comfort zone, keep us living the same life, keep living the same day over and over and over again, because it's the comfort zone, because it's the way we've been programmed. It's because that's the neural networks that are firing in our brain. And think about all the things that you do automatically, or watch somebody that you love, the things that they do automatically. You can see the pattern of the same time a person wakes up or goes to sleep or has to have coffee when they first get up. Or tomorrow we'll talk about paradigms, the things that you do over and over and over, the habits. And in order to change from where we are to where we want to be, it's changing thinking patterns. It's starting to understand that what we're thinking causes us to feel a certain way. And the way we feel attracts things that are of like energy. And the things that are of like energy confirm, yep, that's true. It's true because you've thought it and felt it so often that it's a familiar pattern, that it is true. And that's the hidden beliefs. That's the I want to be there, but I can't because. So I really want you to spend some time looking at what you wrote down as a wish list, what you wrote down as a fantasy goal, and all the good and bad things, all the reasons why you want it, and all the reasons why you think it can't happen. And then tomorrow we'll get really deep into that, talking about what's holding you back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you back here at 12 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll talk about limiting beliefs and why it is so difficult to get where you say you want to be. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Thank you.